Have you had dreams about bugs? Have you been dreaming about insects? Have you been dreaming about any type of insect, whether it's spiders, dreaming about ants, or, any kind of bugs? This is the video for you. I'm going to go through some really important points that you can keep in mind to help you understand why you're having these dreams about insects and how you can utilize them to help you change, grow, and transform. My name is Kezia Vida. Welcome to my channel. This is all about dreams and helping you to develop a dream practice that can really help you transform and grow. So if you're interested in doing that, please hit the subscribe button. I'll be making videos every Thursday to help guide you on your dream practice and many other things along the way. Dreams are the most powerful tool we have to help us transform and understand ourselves, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So you've been having dreams about bugs. This is actually a very common topic and thing that can come up in our dreams. It's not unusual, so I'll say that first right off the bat. Sometimes people can be very disturbed by the insect dreams that they have, the dreams that they're having about bugs. And it's really not that unusual, and it definitely doesn't mean anything is very wrong. But always it could be pointing to some areas where we could change and grow, and that's always just an exciting opportunity, or that's the way I like to look at it. So first of all, if you want to understand why you're having the insect dream that you're having, you need to really think about the feelings that come up for you in the dream, particularly around the insects as they rise up. So, sometimes we have associations with insects in real life that can kind of get in the way of our understanding of the dream itself. So I'd really encourage you not to just think about how you might feel about the insect when you are awake and you're thinking about, oh my God, there was this infestation of cockroaches, or oh my gosh, there was all these bed bugs, right? And of course, in our waking life, if we saw that, we might feel scared or whatever we might feel. But we really want to concentrate on how we actually felt in the dream, because sometimes in the dream, our feelings about those insects, our feelings about infestation, or any of the scenes or the things that are coming up for us about insects in the dream can actually be something different. And that's really an interesting point. So we want to make sure we identify the way we are feeling about the bugs in the dream itself. So then once we're thinking about what the feelings are about the insect itself, then you want to think about what are your associations in general with the insect kingdom, okay? Now, as human beings, we have a very interesting relationship with insects. On one hand, I think, of course, we spend a lot of time trying to get rid of them, right? We are doing whatever we can to build our houses or our places where we work, or if we see a bug, we want to call pest control. We want to get it out of our house. Bugs are a negative thing, and, we're trying to do whatever we can to prevent ourselves from living with bugs, being around bugs, being bitten by bugs, whatever, might come up for us around that. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. But of course, on the other side of the equation, we can know and understand that bugs are so essential to life on Earth. If we did not have the insect kingdom on Earth, we would perish. So, in that sense, right, this idea that we both are repelled by bugs, we're trying to get them out of our area, we're trying to avoid them at all costs, and we depend upon them, and there's a need that we have kind of as human beings to be in relationship with them. I really associate insects in general with the shadow aspect, kind of in a broad sense. So if you are having a dream about a bug, you can think about, is the insect somehow representing some shadow aspect of me or some part of myself that I want to get away from, that I want to reject, that I want to distance myself from, that I want to prevent having to have any interaction with? And at the same point, there's a power that's held in there. It can get a rise out of me. It can make me jolt. It can make me want to face things inside of myself. And ultimately, of course, our shadow aspects are waiting for us to integrate them so that we can bring back that power back into ourselves instead of always trying to push it out. So a lot of different feelings can come up in relationship to our shadow. Our shadow can be contained by a lot of different things. For example, you could have a reaction to the bug that's around fear. There could be a lot of fear that comes up, a lot of anxiety that comes up. There could be shame or disgust that comes up if we feel like something's infested. There could just be that sense of wanting to get rid of it, wanting to banish it, trying to get it out of your space. So just rejection, basically, of the thing. A lack of cleanliness, again, like a disgust, fear. Fear is a really big one. And like an anxiety, anticipation of pain. So these are all feelings that can come up when we encounter the insect in our dream. Now that's not always the case, of course. You might have a dream about a bug that's actually about wonder and amazement, right? We have a lot of metaphors that we grow up with, whether it's the butterfly, the bees, the ants, really respecting the incredible nature of these creatures and all of the ways that they can support us. So a big piece of what I'm saying in general is once you identify how you felt about the insect in the dream, and you really think about how you relate to insects in your life, particularly that insect that you saw, whether it's one or an infestation, once you identify those feelings, asking yourself these questions, how could this relate to my relationship to the shadow in general, or my relationship to these feelings that come up? So in some sense, seeing the insects as symbolic of the feeling itself. Okay, so I'll just give you an example. Let's say you're in the dream and you lift up your blanket and you see there's an infestation of bed bugs inside of your bed. And you feel this intense feeling of disgust. Oh my God. And you have your reaction, right? The way you react to the bed bugs. Maybe you just put the blanket back down and try to pretend like it's not there. Maybe you start freaking out and calling somebody in particular. Maybe you get angry and you think there's somebody else's fault that got you those bed bugs. Whatever reaction you're having to the bed bugs, I invite you to consider, could the bed bug symbolize the feeling itself? So you might feel feelings of disgust or shame about yourself at times, right? Those feelings that you felt towards the bed bug might come up inside of yourself. And how do you react? Or is the way you react to those bed bugs similar in some way to the way you react when that shame comes up inside of you? That is often an invitation that these insect dreams are bringing you into. And if you're ready to go into that depth, it can teach you a lot about the way you react to that shame, to that disgust, to the fear, right? Maybe fear is what comes up for you when you see all those bed bugs. So again, it's how you react to the insect, how you relate to the insect can often mean how you relate to the shadow aspect in and of itself. And again, because insects often contain this opportunity, there's often a silver lining, right? A place where if we can hold ourselves in that reaction, hold ourselves in the way that we feel, instead of, freaking out and wanting to do something crazy with the bugs, but really just be there with them, there's something of wonder that can sometimes happen. And sometimes that's really what the dream is all about. Again, there can be dreams about butterflies or a bug transforming into something else, or a spider that can seem so scary, and then after a little while, you can almost feel the power of the spider, even though you're still afraid. So again, often if we allow ourselves to stay a little bit longer, just in the presence of the insect itself, again, the presence of our shame, the presence of our fear, the presence of the parts of ourselves that we would rather push away, get rid of, get out of our space, all the ways that we want to, things that we want to do with the insects in the world. If we can stay present with them a little bit longer, this other side can start to appear. And sometimes that's in the dream. Sometimes we're not quite there yet, but often the invitation is somewhere, and it can be really powerful to try to look for it within the dream itself. So the last thing I want to leave you with is just to really consider, again, because insects have such an essential role in every single ecosystem and just our planet in general. And they can garner such a strong sense of emotion, right, inside of us as human beings, even though we're so much bigger and we're so much more powerful. One little bug in the wrong place at the wrong time can send us for a crazy loop. And then on the other side of it, the right insect at the right time, if we can develop those relationships and trust, right, that these things aren't necessarily coming to harm us, and even if we get stung, and I mean, of course, people have their allergies and all these things, and I'm not saying you have to go get yourself stung by an insect or anything, but just to understand that even when something comes in a package that we might not appreciate or want to be in relationship with, there can often be something really beautiful for us inside of that. And so I really do invite you, if you're having a dream about insects, to just open your mind and consider that there might be aspects of that dream and of that experience that aren't just coming to disturb you or make you upset, or make your life more difficult, but really it's an invitation to go deeper into relationship with these feelings that come up when the insects are present. And I know for myself, the more I've worked with my own dreams that have to do with insects, the more I've come to appreciate the beauty and the power and just the sheer wonder. I mean, insects are incredible, if you really start to learn about them, like the way ants relate to each other and the way bees relate to each other, and the behavior patterns of spiders, and all of these ways that insects are so unique and so fascinating, and again, so essential to every single ecosystem that they exist inside of. I really think that there's an opportunity for you to connect to something deeper and learn about that process that might not always have such a nice face to it, right? Because I think sometimes we think connecting to the divine or connecting to spirit or connecting to God is something that has to look really pretty, and it's in the flowers or in the oceans or these extravagant vistas or whatever. But actually, sometimes God is in these things that we react to, these places that we want to repel ourselves from, or the things that hit us in a different way. And if we can be open to the spirit of love and support and connection coming in packages that we might not expect, well, that's when we really start to open up the wonder of life. And, don't spend so much time worrying, like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Or, is this mean I'm bad or it's bad or someone's wrong? Just to be present with something as it is, with all of its complexity. I really think dreams about bugs, dreams about insects are inviting us on that journey. So I hope this was helpful for you and helped expand your understanding and your mind about what your dream about bugs could all be about. Again, it's pretty simple, it's like thinking about what you feel when you see that bug, when you're having that interaction, thinking about how you react towards the bug, the actions that you take or the things that you think when you see the bugs in the dream. And trying to relate that potentially to the shadow itself, to the things inside of you that you want to reject, that you want to keep out of your space, that you think are gross or disgusting, or whatever judgments or ideas you might, or scary, right, that you might hold about bugs. And understanding that bugs can be our teachers, bugs can be our guides, insects can be here for us to help us understand what it means to serve in a greater sense. So if you can't tell, this is one of my favorite topics. I really love insects, and I think they're so powerful and truly life-changing. So if you're into this topic too, you want me to keep talking about it, I can get into more specifics, because every single bug has its own sort of mystery to unlock, whether it's bees, ants, spiders, and all that stuff. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your dreams are, and I can maybe go more in depth with some examples. But I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad that I was able to share with you today. And if you got something out of it, please hit subscribe and reach out in the comments below. Let me know how this served you, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.